first year of bringing you to the very edge of your seats with the very best of what very games have to offer. And I am very, very proud to have you here on this very journey with me. And with that, check a look.
Oh, that intro's really cool.
Welcome on in, everybody. This is Valhalla's Most Wanted Podcast, episode 8.
I'm last. Got it.
What's that?
Nothing, sorry.
Subway already ruining the podcast. It's already been done.
I was still muted. What are you doing?
Welcome on into this Super Bowl Sunday episode. It's a very special episode. So Wolves gathered the most qualified sports ball people we know. Ask them anything. They know every statistic about every single sports person I've ever heard about and not heard about. So let's go ahead and welcome them in. Obviously, PlatinumTrophyWife, I am your host, and let's go around the horn. Wolves, take it away.
I'm Grey Wolves Gaming. I'm the co-host. I apparently got sports experts, so this will be fun. Outlaw.
I don't know any other people who are more qualified for this episode.
Yeah, so I'm Outlaw, and my favorite part of sports ball is when they wave the checkered flag to get the hole-in-one and wave for the finale of the touchdown. It's the best part.
Knowledgeable. I'm just floored right now.
I'm right there.
I'm BASubway. I actually like sports, which I know is an unpopular thing on Twitch. I'm sorry, forgive me. I like watching men scream and then hit each other really hard.
That's why I play Call of Duty.
That's why I watch Dragon Ball Z.
True. Except they scream and they never actually hit each other.
Yeah.
Oh. Wow.
I mean,
it charges for 3 seasons and then misses.
Spoiler alert.
It charges for 3 seasons and then misses.
That's the best part of Dragon Ball is when they just keep cutting to other storylines, and then they come back for 20 seconds to be like, yeah, he's still going, and he's just and then they cut away, and then they do 2 more episodes, and then they cut back, and he's just still screaming. They're they want to update you. They're like, yep, he's still going.
He's still there.
Didn't Dragon Ball Kai cut Dragon Ball Z down to 100 episodes? Yeah,
it cut out a lot of the weird filler stuff, which honestly some of those are the best ones, like when Goku goes to get his driver's license. That's my favorite episode because it's just why you're what the fuck is going on?
I remember watching it come home from school, it was on Toonami. Well, for us older people, I don't know what you did. And I
watched it on Toonami. I was 5, but it doesn't
I was in high
school.
I was in high school. So.
They reran it on Toonami so many times.
So, but I played baseball for 2 years in high school, and in the last 2 years of high school I did track. So I was never home in time to actually watch on Toonami. So I had my VCR set to pre-record the episode.
Oh,
so my friend and I would go back to my house, we'd watch it on VHS. But I very specifically remember the episode where Goku lands on Namek. So Krillin, Gohan, Vegeta, they're already there. They've gotten their butts whooped by the Ginyu Force. And Goku gets off, and he senses, he tries, his mental sense around. Right. And there's a good, 10 minutes of him being there's Gohan. His power level is very low. He's in a dangerous situation. I really must go quickly to help him. Because of how low. He's just dialoguing
the whole thing.
Vital necessity that he moves quickly for 10 minutes. And he's just this is urgent.
But he's not moving.
That's just oh my god! I'm rewatching Naruto because I hate my life, and I have nothing better to do than watch 700 episodes of Naruto. But I was watching an episode, and at the end of it last night, there's just this montage of all of Naruto's friends being like, "We're gonna help you. Don't worry, I will help you." And it's just internal monologue, and they go through the entire main cast, and they all say the same thing. And it's the last 10 minutes. I'm I get it. They're gonna go help Naruto, but he doesn't really need help because he's basically a god at this point in the series. So I don't get what's happening.
Early edition of Naruto had a bad habit of doing the screen slashes with different faces. I was 6 faces all popping on the screen.
But it's so nostalgic now to watch that. Actually, I'm not like as soon as I see the screen slashes with like the action lines, I'm like, oh man, this is what anime is supposed to be.
I love how on our sports episode, the first topic was anime. I think that's really close.
Yo, have you ever watched a sports anime? Because they're
okay. You want to? We could do both. We could do sports anime, but we're still keeping it DBZ. I want to point out how useless Yamcha is.
I was ready to talk about the men's swimming team in Free, but okay, like go ahead.
We can move on to that. I want to talk about how useless Yamcha is in all of DBZ. Like outside of the meaning of Yamcha's here, Yamcha's dead. Like all the other people like still fight and stuff like that. They've all gotten stronger even though they live their everyday lives. Like Krillin is now more powerful than a basic level Super Saiyan. Like he's gotten much stronger and they've all gotten much stronger. So like in current Dragon Ball Super in the dub version, because I'm watching the dub version, is they're getting ready for this massive tournament that could end universes. And they're down a person like, who can we do? Who can we do? No one ever brings up Yamcha. And they're like, let's bring back Frieza. Let's bring back the biggest bad our universe has ever seen, and hopefully he'll help us. Still, they won't even consider Yamcha. Yamcha, at this point, has gone on to be a professional baseball player and still isn't the best player in the world. He's not world famous as the best baseball player.
Yamcha's
like, how bad is he?
Yamcha is just like one of those super fighters that really liked wolves and it just didn't work out in the end. You know, he really tried to push the whole like wolf fang fist thing, but it just wasn't that great.
Just didn't make it.
Too gimmicky.
He really should go to Mr. Straight because he is like Mr. Straight is the strongest man on earth, despite not. So he knows how to market. So Yamcha's gonna be like, listen, I'm gonna be your protege. I'm gonna surpass you eventually. But let's make this out that you trained someone to be so amazing. And, like, get on that gravy train. But no, Yamcha just sucks.
Dude, at the start of Super, I think the worst thing was that everyone got these insane, like, power buffs, like you were talking about.
Yeah.
Except one of the people that didn't was Tien. And poor Tien, he's, like, the dude that's actually trained, like, every day for his life to be the strongest guy. And they're just like, yeah, no, that short guy who's, like, 50, he's way stronger. That's the other best part is that Master Roshi was like, yo, I was actually like super strong this whole time, and I just let you guys deal with Frieza. I was lazy. Krillin died 5 times, but I didn't do anything about it.
Do you know why Master Roshi can't fly?
Why?
Because in Dragon Ball, the flying technique was developed by his rival school, so he just refused to learn it on principle. That's it. Like, it's not an ability he can't do. He just refuses because it was an enemy. Yeah, he just like, no. They taught that,
so it's fine.
Yeah.
Oh, good old sports.
So anyway,
sports.
Good old sports. Oh my gosh. So, topic at hand. Let's get it over with. So there is a game going on today, and it's kind of a big deal, allegedly.
Okay.
So what are people's plans today? Are you all gonna watch the game? Who are we rooting for? Let me know.
Watching the big game.
I'll probably have it on
in the
like
chat who have
CBS All
no
Access.
idea.
You can watch it, I believe, for free without having to pay for anything. So I'm probably just gonna throw it on in the background while I do other stuff, but I'm not gonna like sit on a couch to watch it.
That's fair. It's Rams and Patriots. Last I checked.
Yep.
Well, way back when, we used to record the Super Bowl to be able to watch the commercials.
Right.
Beyond that, I mean, lacking, in recent years, the commercials have been down, in my opinion.
I agree.
Yeah, they haven't been as funny lately.
Like no, sorry, continue.
I was say, but beyond commercials, no, I really don't have any plans to watch the game.
No, but I agree. I feel like the commercials, while they used to be expensive to like buy the slot, like it was always costly, they still had like a low budget comedical feel to them.
Yeah.
And now they're like, well, we're spending $1 million just to air the commercial. Why not spend $2 million to make the commercial? It's like, then it's just too over the top, and it's just not funny.
That's fair.
The original Budweiser frogs, those were some classics. You had the "What's Up," the classic. Beyond that, I don't remember any in recent years. Like nothing really stuck with me.
Yeah, no, the closest one to recent years, and I still think it's probably like 5-10 years old, that I loved was the Dorito commercials. Where it's just if you open Ted's bag of Doritos, Yeah, why? He won't notice. It's like Ted's very serious about it. Then all of a sudden, like a Dorito shuriken hits the guy in the neck and like falls over, and like Ted's there in like Dorito armor. Like,
That was the best. I remember that one.
That was a good one. That was a really good one.
Yeah,
like,
I feel like there's always like a couple standouts. But overall,
Yeah.
I thought last
I'd
year's
say-
was really good, but I remember like there was a long stint of years where it was like the commercials were
I want to say it was like 2 years ago was the Dorito finger cleaning hole, where they would walk up with dirty Doritos fingers and stick it in a hole, and it ended up being a guy on the other side licking the finger.
Oh!
I did not see that commercial.
remember
No,
that one.
that was like the weirdest one that I've ever seen.
I remember that one that made me really uncomfortable.
Same.
I was like, "What? It's like, why is this a commercial?"
Yeah. So for those who could be watching who are not in the States, because I don't know if you guys know, this podcast is internationally famous.
We're so cultured here.
We're so cultured. So for those who may,
Break out the champagne.
not be in the States, Super Bowl is a football game that is like almost a holiday here, especially in the Midwest. It gets really crazy. It's pretty much an excuse to get together with people you never hang out with normally, have bunches of snacks and beer, and the people who don't like sports watch the commercials because it's very well known for its commercials as being like the funniest, the best commercials ever. And it's just normal products. I remember the standout last year was Tide. That was the best commercial.
And then everyone was eating Tide Pods.
Yeah.
Well,
That became
okay.
a snack.
They weren't okay. They weren't advertising eating pots though. And but there's also advertisements for like movies and stuff, but it's
Ooh, that's good. I wonder what movies will be this year.
yeah, because it's so expensive. It's so expensive to get screen time during the Super Bowl because it's like the most watched event in the States. That it's like these companies have to fork over so much to do their little like 30 seconds. So it's like you have to be good.
How much is it for a minute this year?
Let's see. I'm checking right now.
I have probably over $1 million.
NBC.
And then our poll, people are rooting for the commercials this year, just so y'all know.
It costs roughly $175,000 per second.
$75,000 per second?
$175,000. This year's host network, CBS, is charging a record $5.25 million for just a 30-second spot during the Super Bowl.
Wow.
I mean, it is the most watched TV program in the world, actually.
It's not the world.
Yeah,
Because the Bake Off is the world.
Huh?
The Bake Off wins the most watched television program in the world.
Well,
Really? I thought it
but-
would have been soccer.
But Bake Off is like that's counting like Netflix views and stuff, but like at like live TV consecutively, the Super Bowl gets the most people. That I'll just
Wolves
sit down
will
and
confirm.
watch it.
Google it.
Yep.
Because
'Cause
the
I was
World
like,
Cup,
I
the World Cup
remember-
gets a lot. I think, or it's the World Cup because the World Cup gets a shit ton.
Yeah.
It might be this, like the.
Because
second
I remember I was watching the Big Fat Quiz, and that was their question was like, what was the most watched program this year? And I was like, it's got to be the Super
Bake
Bowl
Off.
as like a naive States person. I was like, the Super Bowl. And then they were like, the finale of the Great British Bake Off. And Bake Off. And I was like,
Most watched sporting events in the world. Let's see.
Per
For Euro
NBC,
26.
This list
Per
started at
NBC.
number 5. Who does that?
I say per-
Number 1, London 12, Beijing Olympics, South Africa. Okay, this is like across all events. I want you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, this is Rio 2016 is coming up with 3,600 million as the most estimated for audience.
What was that for?
2016 Rio Olympics.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, the Olympics. is
the
insane.
Olympics will take over on the Olympic
That's
year.
true.
Which,
See, I forgot about the Olympics. The Olympics will destroy everything.
Yeah.
So that's on Wiki. I don't know how accurate it is, but that's their
Let's say,
most.
NBC says the Super Bowl is the most watched show in TV history, but that says like 114 million.
Yeah, where the other things get billions.
I say,
Yeah.
well, that's the most watched show on NBC, I'm guessing, but like, who the fuck watches NBC then?
it's the most watched network. It has the best comedy. It has the best, like during the Super Bowl, they like promo themselves
NBC is the best
all the time. They're like, the Big Bang Theory is the most watched comedy show. Like,
By people that pretend like they're smart.
I mean, can I do that and not back up my information? This channel, the most watched on Twitch.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure they're doing well. Like, but my family had like this big joke, like, because they would like promo the shit out of themselves, and then like we were just like, NBC, we're doing very well. Like,
we're doing very well.
Yeah, like no Super Bowl has made even the top like 50 most watched sporting events in history, because these are all in the billions and Super Bowl's in the hundreds of
Yeah, I would
millions.
say that's all the Olympics though, probably, right? The Olympics.
FIFA's in here.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me either. FIFA's awesome.
We're not as popular as we thought we were.
No, because we're America.
Yeah, Olympics, opening series, FIFA.
And people in Ukraine, apparently.
Yeah,
Muhammad
it's just
Ali versus
insane.
Leon Sparks in 1978 made the list.
I was reading that one. That was
That is-
1
yeah.
billion.
There's a cricket match in here in the top like 20. Professional boxing, royal funeral, Princess Diana.
It's gone, Undead. I got rid of it. I got so bored during the polar vortex that I shaved my beard off.
Polar vortex, you say?
God, that made me want to do that.
Whoa.
But
It's
first,
like
let
the
me
worst
do
2
an
days of my
announcement really
life.
quick. Where we are live on Twitch. So if you are watching on YouTube, there you can watch us live on Twitch, and we talk to you in chat. So that's who Undead Duende is in the chat. What up? And
forget
yeah,
to
I
like,
know,
comment,
live,
subscribe.
so weird. And
the Super Bowl-
anyway,
Yeah, the Super Bowl for decades has been the most watched sporting event in the U.S., but NFL viewership is greatly outpaced globally by FIFA, UEFA, and cricket.
What is the UEFA?
And cricket?
Yeah,
Dang.
cricket.
I feel like you have to say it with an accent.
Union of European Football Association.
Cricket.
It's soccer.
Oh, okay.
So both versions of soccer in Europe are more popular than.
Both versions of soccer. I love it. So yeah, that's kind of big news. Our Midwest people almost died.
It was
Yeah.
cold.
It was really cold.
I
Do
stayed
talk
in
about
my
it,
house.
because these 50s, we were really chilly too.
I know. One day we got into the 40s here. It was
Oh.
brick.
I'm
was it?
shocked you guys are still with us. So
Yeah. What was it here on Wednesday?
Hey, I had to contemplate wearing a jacket.
I think the air temp was like -22, and the wind chill was like -56. I think it was the coldest.
Yep.
But
It
as Outlaw
was-
said, you guys had a very nice looking polar vortex.
We did. We
It
did.
was very nice.
I mean, you could see the curvature of the air movement.
yeah,
Just
like it just has a very nice
lifting and
undulating.
separating.
You guys,
Like-
oh god, please no.
That made me happy. So, does anyone? So, no plans for the Super Bowl today? Are people not going to watch it?
Nope. I'm playing video games.
I don't have any broadcast TV, so if I can find a way to watch it, I will definitely put it on. But
Literally, the one person who likes watching sports isn't going to watch it.
Because I like watching sports, but I don't give a shit about the Patriots. I'm tired of seeing the
No one
Patriots
does.
in the Super Bowl for like the 50,000th time in a row. I don't care anymore.
Like
Sure.
I think they need to change the overtime rules.
All I
Like-
could root for is the Rams to win, but they're not going to.
Right.
So, for those that don't know, the
I
reason
don't
the
know.
Patriots got in this year is in the playoff games, they were playing the Kansas City Chiefs. And it went into overtime. Now, in NFL rules, in overtime, in theory, both teams are supposed to be able to possess the ball, unless the first team to possess the ball gets a touchdown. They get a field goal, they make any other points that's not a touchdown, then the other team is allowed to possess the ball. If they get a touchdown, the other team does not get an offensive play.
Okay.
okay.
So the Patriots won the coin toss, got the ball, got a touchdown. The Kansas Chiefs were never allowed to try to go.
Yeah.
The time is irrelevant. So this always brings up people complaining because it's not fair. Like
Okay.
statistics show, whoever has the ball first wins more often than not. So this is like a big point of contention. Every like 5 to 10 years or so, they re-change the overtime rules to try to appease people. But it's been roughly like that for a while. So what I think they need to do is they need to do like soccer. They need to have a kickoff. So each team picks 5 players to kick. You can only pick one kicker. So the other 4 have to be like running back, linebacker, wide receiver. It has to be someone.
That just
And
sounds
you
like a disaster.
You set the ball up for a field goal kick, and like you get to pick your yardage. You get to pick wherever you want, and whatever team has the furthest total yardage after 5 kicks, they win. That's what I want.
Wow.
That That's such a weird idea.
That's so weird.
I mean, they would never do that ever, but it's so weird to think about.
I want them to.
What I think they should do is they should just do like almost every other sport and just add another like 20 minutes to the game and then see what happens.
Right.
Just add like another quarter and then just play regular fucking football. And then whoever has the most points at the end wins. If it's still tied, add more time. Just keep going.
The problem with that comes
until somebody wins.
But the problem with that, with the nature of football, is whoever possesses first can run the clock down.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can, but it's still just football.
But
you
it's still football strategy because you do that normally without overtime.
Down though, like and if they had a whole quarter, that's like a whole 20 minutes of football, or not even 20 minutes. Like just add another 20 minutes of football. That's like
currently they add 10 minutes, I think.
Yeah, but like just add 10, 15, just add time. Let them play the sport. Just let them play it normal, because then you have to make first downs and like it's totally different because you have to score. Because if you don't score, still a tie, you're in trouble. The Bears would be fucked in that system. Yeah, a lot of teams that keep winning stupid bullshit stuff would be fucked if they just had to win like normal.
Well,
drives me crazy. The worst thing ever is when they both score field goals and the game ends in a tie. Because
I don't think any sport
never
should
had
be allowed
ties
to end in a
before.
tie. No sport should be allowed.
I thought soccer
to end in a tie.
could.
Soccer ends in a tie all the time, but I don't like it. But
It's
soccer,
very
they
rare
have
for
this whole
football.
points system that works with it. But for football, it just doesn't make any fun.
It doesn't. It doesn't.
It's like if basketball ended in a tie.
Family-friendly stream, by the way.
It's not.
It's not.
It's not.
Outlaw's family was just on the stream, therefore family friendly.
We
had kids on this podcast.
We just showed Polar Vortex titties, okay?
It was censored.
Whoa, yeah. We didn't call them titties, Subway. You pervert.
Sure.
They were just nice looking airways.
Vortexes.
Just nice looking vortex.
Had a nice airy feel to them.
Oh god.
Very feel to it. They were very I can't think of anything. I feel like I need experience of like wanting boobs for so long in order to.
But no, I don't think any sporting event, any sport ever should be allowed to end in a tie. There should be some rule for.
Just let somebody win. It's more fun.
Like, even if they just Rochambeau for the winner, I don't care. Just don't think ties should exist.
A tie is just it's so anticlimactic. I'm like, I just watched this sport for like 2 hours or 3 hours or whatever, and then
to end with nothing.
At the end, it's just like, well, might as well not have played the game.
I've never understood that. As someone who doesn't watch sports, I've never understood that.
Yeah, that does seem odd. I'm sure it was the American way of being like, well, at least we did something.
Everyone gets
we want to
participation
win
trophy.
too. I mean, we're evenly matched, so let's just call it a tie and move on with our lives. We tried,
that's
guys.
what happened. That's even what happened in like Overwatch. There was too many ties and everyone was bitching.
Oh my god! When my Overwatch game would end in a draw, nothing would make me angrier.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, what game ended in a tie a lot, and then people would get so upset. I couldn't remember for the longest time.
It made me so angry. It's like when my Counter-Strike game ends in a tie, I just want to kill someone. Like, I'm like, oh, I just played an hour and a half competitive game to lose a tie.
Nothing.
But video games don't lead to violence, guys.
And you don't rank up, you don't rank down, it's like, I might as well have not even played that game. I played 30 rounds of Counter-Strike for nothing.
So, but I know in tournaments they keep going until they get a winner. They don't.
Yeah, in tournaments there's no tie, but in regular Counter-Strike Online, there's like certain ways you can end it in a tie.
That's weird.
Yeah,
that's especially competitive. Like, why would you do that in a competitive?
Like if it's 14-14, and then it's 15-14, they have to win by 2 because it's capped at 30 rounds. And so if it's 16-14, they win. But if it's 14-15 and then it's 15-15, it's a tie. Which
weird.
It's dumb.
It's very weird. It's very weird.
Rainbow Six Siege, there's no ties, which is great.
Yeah. I mean, it's like tennis. Tennis stops even counting after a while, but they play until there's a winner.
Right.
They're like even, advantage, even. Like they stop saying numbers. Like they have the advantage. The one more they win. They're just like.
I mean, to be fair, tennis stops saying numbers after like 3 scores.
They
They're
also
like 15,
skip a lot of
30,
numbers.
Yeah.
45.
Yeah, 15, 30, 40. Love. And then it's
Yeah.
advantage.
Yeah.
So there's only tennis only has like 3 numbers.
It's a very
Also,
kind
who decided
counting system.
15, 30, 40? What?
It's their favorite numbers. All right, back off.
It's such a weird scoring mechanic.
They really like it. They're like, that's
The phone call
a nice
where they
number.
talked about that broke up a little bit, so that's what the guy wrote down.
Phone call? How recent do you think tennis was invented?
All right, the telegraph.
Back
lost
when
They were
phones
doing
all
Morse
horrible.
code, and
The
it got
smoke
mistranslated.
signals.
He said 15, sir. 15. Why didn't they start with 1? I don't know. I'm telling you what I
Don't ask
heard.
me.
So
Morse
is
code's
anybody
very-
into any sport? Like, okay, we'll open it up besides football. Like, so what sports do we all watch, if any?
I watch a lot of UFC.
Okay.
More men screaming and beating each other up. I like it.
Yep.
No, they have women's.
Well, yeah, okay, fair.
But do you watch moments?
Yeah.
Okay, I was just curious.
I mean, I love watching Holly Holmes just take this piss out of people. It's so much fun. He's so good.
Just beat the crap out of him.
Oh
I mean,
my god,
women,
the best
women's
was when
and most of like the midweight to lightweight men's are usually the most entertaining.
yeah, fair.
Depending on the style. Some of the heavyweight men's, a lot of them just like lay on each other. Not all, and there are some mid lightweights that do it as well. But a lot of the women's and a lot of the mid to lightweight men's, like it's much more of a hit and go and like more dynamic. And since I've done martial arts, so I appreciate that more than the wrestling aspects. Because I did Taekwondo, there's not really any wrestling, so I can't appreciate it as much. I know there's a lot of skill, there's a lot of work, there's a lot of dedication that goes into those little movements that you're watching. You're like, it just looks boring, but I know like a lot's
A little
happening. But since it's harder for me to appreciate that, so I prefer those other type of matches.
I'll say I do like mid lightweights and women's a lot. Oh my god, the best ever was when Ronda Rousey was fighting Holly Holmes, and everyone was like, Ronda Rousey's gonna take her down. And I was like, I like watching boxing too.
Yeah.
And I was like, I watched Holly Holmes box, and I was like, no.
Yeah, no, I did not.
I was like, she's gonna have a bad day.
No, I'm with you. I did not think I was not favored for Ronda to win that. Her stand-up game was always the weakest. She had nearly gotten stand-up choked out one time. Like, that's how what's her name that like kept one of the fighter, Misha Tate. Misha Tate nearly beat Ronda a couple times because Misha was more of a boxer.
Yeah.
So boxing and stand-up game was always Ronda's weakest.
Right.
So I know everything. So for those who don't know, are we talking about wrestling or boxing or kickboxing?
We're talking about UFC. UFC is full contact. You can wrestle, you can punch, you
What
can
does that
kick.
stand for?
United Fighting
It's
Champions.
Fight Club, but you can talk about it.
Yeah. It's
I
like
know
MMA
this, of course,
fighting.
but for the people who don't know.
Ultimate Fighting Championship.
Okay.
The one where they get in the
Yeah.
octagon ring, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, UFC is full contact.
Okay.
So you wrestle, you punch, you kick, you choke, like anything you can do.
There's
to get
not a
them
lot
to
of
bite.
rules.
I was
You
going to
bite, you
say, like, what
scratch.
are the rules?
Not
fight. You can't, for men, you can't kick in the crotch. If you're dropping elbows, you can't do a straight vertical drop down.
Okay.
But
you
basically
can throw an elbow.
you can't kill them. That's like the only rule.
Well, that's good. I mean, at least there's rules.
At least
That's
we
like
have
rule
that.
one. Don't kill them, and then there's a couple other little things.
UFC, despite having very little rules in how you win in terms of knocking them out and stuff like that, has less long-term issues of concussions and issues than like football or boxing or any other sport.
Yeah, because you're
Wow.
getting punched in the face less in the UFC.
Like
In
you
boxing,
get-
you're getting punched in the face continuously all day.
yeah, and like boxers can suffer multiple concussions in a single match before the match is over.
Oof.
In UFC, if
Yeah.
you get knocked unconscious and drop down, the ref will just end the fight. There's no like 10 seconds to get back up. If he
Yeah.
sees your eyes roll back and you fall, even if you hop back up, he's like, "Nah, you're done." And then
You're
you can't do another UFC match for 6 months because you had a concussion.
Oh,
Like
wow.
you
Oh, wow.
blacked out even for half a second, you cannot fight again for 6 months. The UFC is very stringent about that. So when you watch a single match, it looks very brutal and looks very violent, but like they do a lot of things to like for the health and longevity of their fighters.
So, like, what's
Interesting.
the average lifespan for these athletes then?
It really depends. Some
Okay.
athletes have fought up until their 40s.
Career span or lifespan? I mean, what do we?
Career
Yeah, like
span.
there have been fighters who have fought into their 40s and done well.
Didn't you hear the
Um,
rule, Outlaw? They're not allowed to die. So.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, during your 6-month hiatus, you could get in a car accident.
No, I was thinking like, how long can they be in the sport? I was just curious.
So basically, the way it's kind of run behind the scenes, as long as you are entertaining, you can last longer. You don't necessarily need to win.
So
Winning
does
will
entertaining mean like have a long fight?
A good fight.
Not necessarily, just a fun fight to watch.
Yeah, like what makes it good or bad it's hard to like just dictate what makes a good fight like verbally, but like you can have if they're entertaining, if you are trying for the 3 rounds even if you lose, Dana White will have a lot more respect than if you like are avoiding the fight for 3 rounds and win by knockout.
Okay.
And Dana White being the main guy of the UFC. So like if you are in there trying and you lose, he has way more respect for you than if you dance around and avoid and then get a lucky shot. Like he doesn't care. Like that's not entertaining. That's not an athlete. You're not trying.
Yeah.
Let's see. Randy Couture was 45 in the UFC. Anderson Silva, who was considered one of the best for a long while, was 38.
But
So,
are those
some
on the
multiple-
older end, or is that pretty
Yeah.
normal? Okay.
No, those are the old end. Most fighters are in their 20s. It's like any of that. Most are in their 20s, but like they said, Silva was still winning up until 38 before he retired. Randy
40
Couture
is
won a
old
couple
for
up to 45.
Anybody.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
For
So.
anybody.
Like for any athlete, I mean, like 40 is pretty old. If you're an athlete and you're 40, that's pretty impressive. Doesn't really matter what you're doing.
Very true.
Golfing?
I mean, that's different. Golfing's a little bit different.
I'm just naming a sport where 40 is fine.
Yeah, 40's fine. You can. I mean, my great grandfather was like 95, and we'd go golfing, and he couldn't hit it very far, but it went straight every time. And so he would just do like 1, 2, 3. He's on the green, and then he 1-putts it from like everywhere on the green. He'll be like, he could be like 100 feet down over there with like different hills going everywhere, and it just goes bloop. And that's how he beat us all.
Freaking grandpa. What up?
He was 95. Still crushing us.
Nice.
So Wolves watches some fighting, which I am about as knowledgeable as what is shown on Riverdale about.
Yeah, I actively watch UFC, and I'll watch any. Like I love going. I'll watch any sporting event live. Any sporting event live is fun.
Any sporting event?
Pretty much hockey, soccer, baseball, football. Like
long
if
as
you're
it's
like, hey,
live.
want to go to see this thing live? Like that's way more entertaining than most of them on TV.
If
Sure.
you're there, it's really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I played
Or,
baseball for 6 years. Baseball is boring as hell to watch on TV. It is
Yeah.
so boring.
It's so boring.
It's fun to go
Baseball
to.
is the thing that you put on in the background and then like do other shit.
I
And then you
even
count
feel
back
that way
there.
when I'm in the stadium.
You're
I'm like, all right,
not
let's talk about
drinking
something.
enough while you're there.
I would
Yeah.
say the whole point of being at the baseball game is that you're eating like shitty food and you're wasted.
Yeah.
Like that's what you do when you're at the baseball game.
Yeah.
You're just drunk.
And then the 7th inning stretch comes around and you're like, yeah, peanuts and
Oh my god.
crackers.
There have been times where I was just like sitting at a baseball game and then 7th inning stretch comes up and I stand up and I go, oh, and I sit back down. I was like, oh, and I'm like, oh
You're
no.
like, nope, I'm gonna go ahead and stretch sitting down.
I should not do that. Then the guy walks around, beer here, and you're like, yeah.
Yeah, right.
They're
Let's
like, you want?
stretch it.
Yeah, you forget about it 3 seconds later. Beer? Oh yeah, I'll take it. I've got 7 cups stacked in front of me.
They're like, that's gonna be $16. You're like, ah, it's cheap. Bring it on fine.
Worth it.
Worth it.
Let's see. What do I watch a lot of stuff. I watch a lot of college basketball.
Oh,
I
okay.
was like, half your snaps or Twitter feed are you at a college game
I mean, yeah, I'm still
or
ready.
a concert.
I can go.
Well, that's because you were like a part of your college band.
Yeah, I'm in this weird band, so I can just kind of go all the time.
Yeah.
Nice.
Cool.
So like if they're
Um,
in March Madness and they're going, like BASubway gets to go and see it and
Hopefully
play.
this year. Well, I have a lot to. I might have a lot too much schoolwork. A lot too much.
Yeah.
I might have too much schoolwork this year to go, but we'll see. Yeah, I watch a lot of college basketball. I watch football sometimes when I feel like it. I like baseball a lot, and I like hockey a lot, and I do like billiards. Someone at Grand Kai in chat, but I like watching snooker a lot, which is like weird English billiards.
I've watched some snooker, not enough. I still don't really understand what's happening, but I've watched a lot of billiards. I remember like back in like high school, like if you watched billiards, if you turned on ESPN, you had equal chance of either seeing this one blonde lady or the lady with the big glasses. Like, it didn't matter. If you turned it on, one of those two would be playing every time for like 10 years.
I know who you're talking about. I don't know the names.
See?
I don't know. I was a very traditional sports family. We grew up with basketball, baseball, and football. That was what my family watched.
Same.
Basketball for sure, because we grew up in the Jordan days.
Yep.
And so that was very big for our Chicago family. Oh my gosh.
I don't like pro basketball very much.
I prefer college, but
Yeah, I like college just because I like how much variety there is of play. Like, there's so many different teams. It's not just this, I don't have to watch like the Warriors win every year.
yeah.
I get to watch number 20, who was it? UMBC or whoever beat the shit out of number 1 Virginia. That was like the greatest game I've ever watched in my life.
Yeah.
The first time a 20th seed has ever beat a number 1 seed or whatever. That was so much fun. And they like made them look like idiots. It wasn't even like a close game. They were up by I remember watching the last 10 minutes of the game, and they're up by like 25 or 26, and we're like, man, this game's like over. There's like 2 minutes left. The guy goes down the court, wide open 3-pointer. I'm like, don't do it to him, man. Hits it again. They get another turnover. They go hit more threes. They're just racking up the deficit. I'm like, oh no.
Yeah. That was nuts.
Poor Virginia. Yeah, that was great. And then watching Loyola win by a buzzer beater 3 games in a row to keep going in the tournament was also great.
Wow. 3 games in a row they did that?
Yeah, basically 3 games in a row. We won 3 games by 4 total points, like, together.
Jeez.
That's
it was awesome.
crazy.
It was so great. And one of them, it's like literally a buzzer beater shot. He's like 5 feet back from the 3-point line, and he just goes up with it and he sinks it, and we all lost our shit. It was the best. It was awesome.
Nice.
Yeah, no,
That's
it's so
nice.
much fun watching that.
March Madness is always really fun because there's like so much to lose each game. So like the teams like really play really hard.
Exactly.
Where, pro is so much more like strategic. Like they're a bit older, and so they have to like put their energy where they need to. Where like college, it's like, we gotta do everything all the time. Like, so it's just like, and we have to win the game, and there's just so much on the line, and it's really fun to watch.
Also, pro ball is like, LeBron James missed the shot. Must have been a foul. It's the only explanation.
It's the only explanation.
Every time they miss a shot, they're like, it's a foul. And I'm like, but it wasn't. He just missed.
Right.
He can do that. He's a human. Sometimes he fucks
foul
up.
or nothing.
Outlaw, do you watch any
funny.
sports?
I'd say the only thing I ever really get into, just because a lot of my friends where I work at got into it, was NASCAR.
Really?
And I really liked.
Ew!
Yeah, I really liked the kind of behind the scenes of the aerodynamics, the changes to how their cars and things they do like that, which is really cool. And I actually got to go to a NASCAR race 3 years ago. And we got the whole treatment. They put us on center field. We had our own party bus.
Nice.
Oh,
nice.
It was so beautiful. Free beer, free food.
I like watching rallycross a lot, actually.
Yeah.
Rallycross is super fun.
Yeah, I don't watch either, but I like from an outside perspective, I think rallycross to me looks more interesting.
Rallycross is so insane. It's so much
but
fun.
I will say, of the events you can be a fan of, I think NASCAR is one of the best because you can go to like a NASCAR track on like various NASCAR days when there's not actually a race, and like you can then get in a car and drive around the track. Like they have like, I spent $200 on your birthday present. Now we're gonna get a NASCAR and go cruising around at 160 miles per hour. Like you can do that. You can't like.
Well,
you're not gonna like go like, I paid $100. Now we're gonna go pay catch with whatever random football player. Like you can't do that in other sports. NASCAR, they're like, here's $100. Like yeah, go crazy. Like,
baseball event. That was fun.
Oh, that's
funny side story on that is when we were at the race, we got like the behind the scenes to go into the pits, and we got to get up and actually like put our hands on the cars if we wanted to. We got that close. And I was standing next to Jeff Gordon's car, and his one tech was getting out of the car and handed me the steering wheel while he crawled out of the car and then handed it back to him so he could put it back in the car. That was pretty cool.
That's pretty awesome.
That's a lot of faith. Can you imagine Gordon gets the car? Where's my steering wheel? Well, I handed it to some random person, and he ran off with it.
And he dipped. He is not here anymore.
Yeah, I always appreciate NASCAR because of the cars, and that's the other reason I like Rallycross. I like the cars. That's my favorite part. I love watching some dude in a Ford Fiesta that they spent $500,000 souping up so that it's got like 4,000 horsepower. Go around a dirt bend at like 90 miles an hour.
Pulling the 12-foot long handbrake.
Seriously, and all you hear is and you're like, what the fuck is going on? This is the best sport ever.
That was a really good sound effect.
That was very good.
That was my favorite part of the first scene of Baby Driver was just the car noises. I was like, that sounds so good.
Baby Driver is such a good movie.
I just saw Baby Driver for the first time a couple days ago.
So good.
And
in all honesty, watch it like 3 more times.
Yeah,
like,
I will.
There are so many little things it does that you miss, like even the first couple viewings. Like there's a scene where like there's like a heart in the background that's like painted on a wall and it's just like an outline, and then he turns and he sees the girl walk by. When she walks by, suddenly it's filled in red.
Yeah.
Like there's so many little things, like all the graffitis as related to the songs that he's listening to.
Yeah, I saw that. That was really cool.
And
that
like,
movie is amazing.
The technical, like how it was a one shot in the beginning, and I'm like, how? Like you're walking down streets. Oh, it's so good.
Yeah,
I think for me the part of the movie that really like got me was that he has tinnitus.
Yeah.
Because I have tinnitus, and I've never like seen a character in media that also had tinnitus, and it was just really cool. And the way they like incorporated like his ear ringing into the soundtrack and stuff was just really awesome. So I thought that was really cool.
They like use the ear ringing for like whenever it's like memories about his mom. It's like really interesting, like how they do that. It like
ringing in your ears not normal.
I mean, everyone hears ear ringing, but some people get it really bad. I had no idea you had tinnitus.
Yeah, I do. I have pretty bad tinnitus actually.
So did they do it justice?
Yeah, it's pretty accurate description. There was actually a couple times when I was watching the movie where it would go quiet, like because I didn't know, and they would have like the earring on screen, and I like turned to my girlfriend. I was like, "Is that the TV or is that me?" I was like, "What's happening?"
Yeah, why is it? Yeah, for sure.
That's when you have the subtitles on, ear ringing in church.
Yep. Yeah, ringing
noise.
That's
why you always gotta have the subs on.
That's when your girlfriend's like, "What are you talking about? We're not even watching TV."
Put
what?
on the subs. Whoa! So everyone go watch Baby Driver. You will not be disappointed.
So
action, fun romance, but it's really not about the romance.
Really awesome driving
and
scenes.
It's just really good action, amazing editing, and one of the best soundtracks.
Oh my god, when the first scene had bell bottoms playing though, I was like, all right, I already love it.
It's such a good movie.
Really so highly recommended to check out Baby Driver. Maybe we'll do a rabbit someday.
Yes.
But in the meantime, we had a question in the chat, and I think it's a really good question. What did you guys play when you were younger, if you played any games? Or any sports, I should say.
Sports ball.
Play games now. Do you play sports when you're little?
Let's see. I did baseball for 6 years up to JV in high school. This sounds weird. Then I dislocated my knee pretty bad, and I couldn't do baseball because baseball has a lot of pivoting and sharp turns.
Sure.
So I switched to varsity track for 2 years because that is straight lines, and when you stop, it's gradual.
Got it.
Yeah.
Like I don't need to suddenly stop.
So it didn't do so much like what's that word?
It doesn't. It's not. Yeah, well, the impact is fine. My problem with the knee is when I want to shift like left to right, like my knee pops out. So like baseball, when you're doing that, you're trying to stop on a base. Like that was too bad on my knee. So then I ran varsity track for 2 years to finish off high school, and then I did karate when I was younger, and then when I got to college for like 3-4 years in college, I did taekwondo.
Nice.
Hey.
Also, we got a rare photo of BASubway, Outlaw, and Wolves. So if you guys want to enjoy this is a rare photo of the three of them when they were little. Together. Wolves that doesn't have his silver hair. This is a very rare photo, guys. This is top quality stuff
His hair didn't turn silver till he was 14.
It was next year.
12.
Oh, sorry.
I started when I was...
we're like 10 right there, so you know.
Yeah.
Like someone
years yet.
Fun fact, I'm actually a time-traveling demigod. Oh.
Well, there's a point not too long ago where someone on my Facebook feed had posted like a photo for me from college. And I'm 34, so this is like 10 plus years ago. And
Yeah.
someone's like, he's like, Joe, you're the only person I can't date the photo by looking at because I was still gray then. Like, sorry.
You're like, I'm sorry. That's
I'll
fine.
try harder next time.
What did I play? I played so much when I was younger, just because. Well, when I was like really little, I like just was trying different sports, and I ended up hating most of them.
Yeah.
But let's see, the ones I stuck with. I did swimming for a long
Before
long
the
time.
internet, kids just ran around their energy.
Yeah, I swam from 2nd grade until freshman year of high school. I played football for like 2 years. Then I was doing cross country and track all through high school. So that was really fun. And then I did marching band, which I guess kind of isn't really a sport, but I did it.
So both of you did track.
I couldn't do cross country though. I was a sprinter. Like baseball, you sprint. Track, I was a sprinter. I did 4x1. I did the discus, which was fun, but yeah, no, long distance.
I tried discus, which was really enjoyable, and shot put. I was a hurdler in track, so I did 300.
Oh wow!
Low hurdles.
Cool.
And then I did the 110 high hurdles, which was super fun. And then sometimes my coach would be like, "Run an 800," and I'm like, "I don't want to." He's like, "But you need to." I'm like, "Fine," because I was a cross country guy, so you can't really get out of that. When they're like, "Go run a long distance race," and I'm like, "But I'm tired."
I'm tired.
I'm tired. I don't want to run the 1 mile.
Yeah. I remember our school ran a mile, like just in our regular PE every week. As,
nice.
Like,
and then out of college, I kept, or into college, I just kept running. So I've run 2 half marathons and a marathon at this point.
Yeah.
And now I'm fat.
PHAT, pretty hot and tempting.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
Oh wait, is that what that stands for?
Yes.
Wait, what is the whole thing?
PHAT, pretty hot and tempting.
Pretty hot and tempting.
I legitimately was just thinking about the other day, and I was like, I don't know what FAT stands for. Or like, I thought it was short for something. Like PHAT, I thought it was short for something. And so I was just like, I need to Google that on Urban Dictionary and figure out what that was.
Girl, you fat, pretty hot and tempting.
Oh.
Never knew that.
I
pretty
had
hot
no
and
idea.
Thick. With 2 C's.
3 C's. It's always 3 C's.
Does that stand for anything, or is that just silly?
No, that's just being silly.
Okay.
Thick.
Y'all keep me young. I don't know what this nonsense
Y'all
is.
keep me young. Fat is from like the 90s.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Kids don't say fat anymore. Now we say thought.
Yeah. Right.
Which
like that's the
filters
other
all the
thing
time.
was that it was such a dated reference, and it literally was the other day that I went, oh, I bet fat actually was short for something, but I don't know what that could be short for, and I was like, I need to Google that.
Yeah, back when it was a thing, we couldn't Google it.
That's true. Like,
Now we have thought, which means that hoe over there.
I've been.
I was read it as
called
that hottie over there, but that hoe.
Or that. It can be both.
Well, I
knew
guess
it was
when it's thought be gone, it's a hoe.
Be gone.
If it's thoughts, I think it's hotties.
Yeah. It could be either. Depends on the context, you know.
Or it means the regular thoughts, but you're just spelling it shorthand.
So I was trying to scroll through my Facebook to see if I had a picture of me as a kid, but I didn't find a picture of me as Quail Man.
Ooh, please.
Oh, no.
I can't look at it. I can't pull it up because I can't do it at Discord. But I can envision it so clearly. That's amazing. We'll have to put it in the show notes, guys. Show notes, so you can look at that later.
I'll throw it in the media to share for anyone else.
I love it. So our
Nice.
Discord, Valhalla's Most Wanted Discord, if you want to see it.
Shout out to our Discord.
Join the Discord if you want to see Young Wolves.
See Wolves as Quail Man, which is like Fat Mike's favorite person.
Yeah, it was at New York City Comic Con. So.
Nice try, Outlaw. We don't have a command. I thought we did, but I guess not.
I thought we did too, but the link's down below in the panels.
Yeah, down below.
And you thought we were professionals. Joke's on you.
You thought we were pro. Outlaw, what sports did you play? I see.
So as a kid, I played 3 or 4 years of baseball. I played first base. I quite enjoyed it. It was really fun. Chat said basketball. I never played basketball outside of just fun. But after baseball, I then went to play roller hockey for 2 years.
Ooh.
That was really fun.
Roller hockey.
That's fun.
Roller hockey. That's a true 90s
Yeah.
kid thing to do.
Yeah, that is an old sport.
But yeah, so that's really all I ever played. I played football for fun. We did tag football. Frisbee golf was one of my absolute favorites in high school.
Yeah.
We didn't have a team or anything. They had a field set up that we could play in.
Yeah.
That was really about it.
Nice.
Wolves, that young you just still looks like you.
That's not that young. It's I don't.
Okay,
oh,
fair.
What was that?
Fair.
That was last Thursday.
Nah, I mean it was probably 6-7 years ago, maybe. So
I
I'm
grew
in
up
my
your
20s,
friend.
but-
I could never guess how long ago or how recently. That could have been taken 2 days ago, and I'd be like, sure.
Or 10 years ago and be like,
Or
all right,
10 years ago, and I'm like, yeah, that's Wolves.
that's him.
That's him for sure.
I grew my goatee in high school, and I've had it since. And I started. It was fully gray by the end of college, so I basically looked like this for
Yeah.
13 years now.
I think there's like a picture with you and Queen and you're shaved, and I was just like, whoa.
Oh yeah,
What's
that was
going
after I had dyed my goatee purple.
Mm-hmm.
It was just easy just to completely shave it off, and then because it would grow back within a week.
Oh, okay, sure.
So I just completely shaved it when it was like starting to get weird and patchy. So then I
That's
just shaved
funny.
it and let it grow back.
Here, I had shared this picture with Outlaw. I'll put it in media to share.
Oh, it's a good picture.
It's an
Oh,
old
snaps.
picture of me in high school.
So
A
I
total
lied.
of probably 4 or 5 years ago. So
You
long ago.
liar.
I did. This picture, you thought that was Outlaw with the basketball. That's actually me. I wanted you all to choose to find it out,
Oh, man,
to
she
figure
got us,
me out.
She got us good, boys.
It's
That's
in a
what I-
ponytail in the back. You can't
That's
tell.
what I looked like when I was young.
Oh man, I have so many photos. Finding this is going to be a challenge.
Do it, Subway.
If I was to find a photo of me about the age that you put up there,
Yeah.
so I was born in the 80s, so 80s/90s kid. So like I have pictures of me like in Disney World, like meeting Raphael, and I was like, oh, I'm meeting Raphael, but I'm wearing like a pink like tank top and like purple shorts. Because like
Oh,
that was
yeah.
kind of like the colors that you wore then. So like I'm
Oh,
wearing
yeah.
pink and purple, and like
Absolutely.
Did you
so,
have
like-
a 90s windbreaker over it?
no, it's Florida in the summer, dude.
Come on,
Still a
Outlaw.
windbreaker.
Pay
Come on.
Get it
attention.
together.
Follow the story.
Sorry, the Midwest people here need cover every now and again.
here we
But
We're talking
and,
about
like-
summer mild.
so like my mom had it up for my high school graduation, and like my friends are like, "Why is there a picture of your sister hanging up?" And I was like, "No, that's me in the purple and pink. I think that's
Man,
that's just
me
how
as a-
I was dressed."
Whenever I think of like 90s garb, I always go back to Jurassic Park and that kid that he talks to in the very beginning. 'Cause,
Oh yeah,
Like what
Yes.
he's wearing is like exactly what everybody wore. It's like those weird patterns and like weird colors, and I always like whenever I see him, I always laugh because he like freaks him out. But yeah, I'm like
I
my
always loved
brother
that
wore
line.
that.
it's like, and you want kids? I don't want that kid.
Ugh.
Yeah.
It's
So.
a young Subway is in media to share.
Ooh!
Holding a big tuba.
Yay!
If you know what I mean.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, no, I played basketball for many, many years. I was on varsity for 3 years in high school, freshman. And then I also played in middle school, so I don't know, add the years. And then I played soccer for a while, but then I discovered it's cross country with a ball. Stop that. And then I did not like cross country. Hated
That's
it.
the best description of soccer I've ever heard. It's cross country with a ball.
I always remember that because
100%.
I was I was at my PE and my coach or teacher, whatever you want to call him. We were watching people play soccer, and I was like, man, I gotta tell you, like, I hate soccer. I'm like, it's just running. Like, I hate it. And he goes, yeah, it's cross country with a ball. And I lost it. And I was like, I will say that every time we talk about soccer. So I give that to him.
Very nice.
Yeah.
I like
Yeah.
running. It's
I like
simple. I
sprints.
don't have to think about it a lot.
Yeah, I do. I'm like concentrating on breathing all the time and like
Just put on my music and I'm just like, let's go.
everyone always outruns me. I was always like super slow and not fun. Not fun.
And I was always a sprinter. Once you got long distance, I was out.
Yeah.
Like baseball, at best, I had to do one lap around. Like, that was it. Like,
One lap around, that's it.
One
That's
and
the
done.
longest you're
One
ever
home
run.
run, I'm out. I'm done.
And
Like,
then
was
if
I
it's
in
a
third
home
base?
run, you can go at your own leisure. So.
Yeah, because like I was in third base, so I wasn't in outfield, so I wasn't running a lot. Like I would do a little shimmy over here, a little shimmy over there, I'd catch the ball. Like that's all I did.
A little shimmy
Maximum.
over here.
Little shimmy to the left, shimmy to the right.
Basically.
And then Wolf
Well-
smacked home runs every time he hit the ball, so like he just kind of had to do that like slow, like smug saunter around the bases.
With the princess wave.
Yeah.
But and then yeah, so then I did track, and again I did like 4x1 stuff like that. But like I was, despite being varsity track, like I was a good sprinter, but I wasn't like still like a dedicated athlete. So I did a 4x1, so I was the third length. So like I'd be standing there like waiting for it to start when like the first two are going, and I have a can of soda. And I'm just sipping my soda. Like I haven't changed. So like they'd get into the second person, so I'd walk over to the grass, I'd put it down, I'd get in my spot, I'd sprint my 100, then I'd walk back to my soda. Like
Good old high
Was this in high school?
Yeah.
Did they allowed this?
Yeah.
Or was this like practice?
no, this was during an
It's
actual
it's
like
high
actual
school, it's high
event.
school track. Nobody cares.
So this is an
Nobody
actual
cares.
event.
Oh
Like,
my
it's like-
gosh.
It was great. Like it was,
I feel like that's a way to psych out the other teams. They're like, this guy's drinking a soda.
Like,
well,
this
because
dude's just
after
drinking a fucking Coke.
like I'd have to do I'd have to do the 4x1 2, maybe 3 times, depending on how many rounds there were and how well we did. And then I threw discus. Then I had to go spin in a circle. Like I didn't need like
Yeah.
I was good. It was fine.
Yeah, I'm assuming you were really fast. And so, like, regardless, you still beat them. Because that's why it's like this psych out. They're like, this
Yeah, just
guy's
psych
going to
him
be
out.
slow
Yeah.
AF. This guy's drinking a soda. And then you, like, just
And he
speed
just
past him. You're like, they're
bolts
like, what the
through.
heck?
No, like
My
I
high
was-
school's
yeah.
track team was really small, so I always had to do a bunch of different events, which was a pain. So I would do my 2 hurdles because I was like one of our only hurdlers that could actually like run at any amount of speed.
Sure.
So I would do the hurdles, and then after that, my coach would just be like, "All right, you're doing this. All right, you're doing this," and I'd be like,
I'm tired. Can
Do
I
I
have
hear
soda?
Alright.
you?
You'd be
Look
like,
at
"All
my
right, you're running an
buddy
800, and then you're doing the 4x4."
Oh god, our coach, Coach Gino, he was the laziest man ever to coach a track team. Like he was a heavy set man, and he'd bring a chair every practice, set it down, and he'd sit in the chair and just yell at you to do
Oh,
stuff.
I hate that.
Like if you were like when during practice stuff like that, like you started to lag around, his motivation was don't get tired. Like okay, coach.
Track-
That's
our
his
track
advice
coach-
all the time. Don't
That's
get
the
tired.
best
Okay,
advice.
coach.
Just don't get tired.
Our
That
track
makes
coach was
me-
pretty great.
That makes me mad. I feel like, are you kidding me?
Our throwing coach was also our powerlifting coach because we had a powerlifting team at my school for whatever reason. Because he used to be a powerlifter. He was probably and the wrestling coach. He was like 5'2",
Jeez.
but like
Wow.
double my width, and he was just like a boulder. It was
Yeah.
like, he literally, it was like people said when they tried to wrestle him, it was like trying to wrestle a big rock because he would just stand there and you'd grab his leg and you just couldn't move it. He was funny. He was the throwing coach. He was the guy that would just kind of sit there and yell at you. He'd be like, "Throw it harder." I'm like, I'm trying.
Oh my gosh. All right, guys, we are getting to the end of our lovely Super Bowl sports-filled podcast.
We're not gonna do a 2-hour podcast like the last time I was here.
This is the extravaganza that is more than a little hour.
Well, before we go, we gotta let people know that because apparently not everyone knows this. There's, in addition to there being a puppy bowl, there's also a kitten bowl.
Yeah, this is important.
Like,
Wolves,
so like
take it
people
away.
need to know that. So
It's a
basically-
PSA, it exists.
At 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is the kitten bowl. Then at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is the puppy bowl. Then the kickoff for the other ones at 6:30. So there you go. 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, kitten bowl, puppy bowl.
It's so,
So.
cute.
So cute.
Look at it, guys. Look, it's so cute. I want to see the kitten bowl so bad. I had no idea this existed.
Nope.
It's pretty cool. It's fun.
Like it's Basically, a
the
mock
puppy
football field with
bowl's-
a bunch of kittens and a bunch of toys in it. Like, that's all you need.
The Puppy Bowl's pretty cute. I watched it one year.
Have you? All right. Slight side tangent.
Go ahead.
So BuzzFeed. Everyone knows BuzzFeed. They do like
course.
very videos. If Google drunk girls given puppies BuzzFeed, they get a bunch of the females at BuzzFeed drunk, and then they start handing them puppies, and
It's
they
really
are crying and bawling, and they have like 3 puppies in their arm, and you hear someone off camera, "You want another one? You have more?" Like, oh, it's great.
I know
that's
they've
funny.
done that. I don't know if it's BuzzFeed. It might be a different place, but very similar, where they like interview celebrities, but they give them a ton of kittens or a ton of puppies, so they can't concentrate on the questions.
Yeah.
You know, like I know Tom Holland did this, where they keep like giving him puppies, and they're like, "So how's it, you know, filming Marvel?" And he's like, "Oh, this is lovely." And he's just like, "Oh, I'm sorry, what's the question? I forgot." Like, it's really cute.
Like the
Well,
reverse version of Hot Ones. Yeah.
I was supposed to say the exact same thing.
Yep.
Is that the
I love
pepper
Hot
things where they eat peppers?
Yeah.
They eat hot sauce chicken wings.
They have hot
Oh.
sauce
Yeah,
chicken
that's a
wings.
good one. That's a great series.
You
It
want to
just
talk
had
about
Gordon
people
Ramsay
being
on
made? You
recently.
want to talk about people being made uncomfortable during interviews? Just go watch the Eric Andre show. That is the peak of people being made uncomfortable during interviews.
Oh no.
They literally make the studio like 80 degrees, so it's uncomfortably warm, and then the interviews last for like 4 hours.
That doesn't sound fun
And
at
then
all.
Eric
Yeah,
Andre
that
just like
sounds
Eric Andre
awful.
just like tortures celebrities, but it's actually really funny.
Oh my
Nice.
gosh.
One time, Tom Hanks, or a guy that looked a lot like Tom Hanks, just like broke out of his desk. Just like, and the guy and Eric Andre's just like, "Oh, it's Tom Hanks," and the interviewee is just like, "What's happening?" And then he like rolled off the stage like on the ground.
Is
Like,
this
it's just
like
weird
is this in
shit.
front of a live audience, or is this pre-recorded?
It's in front of a live audience, quote
Okay.
unquote, but it's actually like pre-recorded. But it's really funny. It was on Adult Swim for a while.
Yeah,
funny.
I think I know what you're talking about now. That I
One
think
time he had a bear come on as his guest, and then the bear just destroyed his desk, and he like ran away. And they always cut to this "We'll be right back" screen. Like one time, I think who was it? I think it was Waka Flocka Flame was on, and his other guy there is Hannibal Buress, who's a comedian.
Is that like Fozzie Bear's brother? Who the?
No, he's a rapper. And then
it sounded like you rapped right then.
literally,
Waka, waka,
Hannibal
waka.
Buress goes to like kick him in the face while he's sitting in the chair, and right before he kicks him, it cuts to a thing that says "We'll be right back,"
Oh,
and it
geez.
plays like the Bob Ross "We'll be right back" music.
Beautiful.
Oh my gosh.
It's great. It's such a, and then he does like weird street bits. There's one time where he sits on someone's shoulder in a trench coat and then tries to buy a car, but he's like 10 feet tall.
Right. Oh
It's
my gosh.
he's funny. He goes to the Trump rallies, interviews a bunch of people, but he's just like, I don't know, being an idiot. It's really funny.
So
Nice.
Really weird.
I only just realized that I gave everyone the time to watch the Kitten Bowl an hour ago and the Puppy Bowl right now.
It is. Yeah, it is 3.
I just looked at my phone. I thought it was 3
So
o'clock.
you
I
mean
was like,
I already missed the kid ball?
Oh no.
This is the
So,
worst day ever.
catch it next year, everyone.
Oh no.
Well, I mean, we're ending right now, so guys,
Yeah.
go watch the Puppy Bowl, because the Puppy Bowl's going on right now, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. So
Yes.
if you want to watch the Puppy Bowl, go
it's
on
Team
over and
Rough
watch
against
it.
Team Fluff.
Puppy
Aw.
balls.
That's so cute.
So we all on the podcast got the exact same score, so we're ending in a draw, guys. Sorry, no overtime.
I forfeit.
Dang it.
But yeah,
No
thank
draw.
you everyone for joining. If you would like to, be on the Discord, Valhalla's Most Wanted Discord down below. If you want to follow us, follow all of our Twitch streams. We all stream. You can find us by our name, twitch.tv/our name right here. And yeah, thanks for joining us on this Super Bowl extravaganza. And
Bye.
I hope you have a
Bye.
wonderful rest of your weekend.
Get
Have a good
really
one, all.
drunk. Woo!
Go commercials.
Responsibly.
Go sports ball! Woo! Wave the checkered flag.
check a look.